Have you ever had a teacher with literally no common sense? My English teacher, Mr. Reeves, was convinced every student used AI for essays. He joined Westlake High halfway through sophomore year, fresh from some tech conference about AI detection and education. From day one, he eyed our laptops suspiciously whenever we typed notes. It started with our Great Gatsby analysis. I'd always loved reading. Our house is basically a library with beds. I spent the weekend crafting what I thought was a solid essay about symbolism. 3 days after submitting it, Mr. Reeves called me to his desk. "Ryan," he said, holding my printed essay like it was contaminated, "this isn't your work." "What? Of course it is," I replied, confused. "The vocabulary is too advanced. The sentence structure is too sophisticated. This was clearly written by ChatGPT." I explained that I've been a bookworm since elementary school and that writing came naturally because of my environment. I even offered to show him my drafts. "I'm giving you a 0 unless you admit you used AI," he declared. "I've been teaching for 15 years. I know when a student is cheating." For our next assignment on Macbeth, I had a strategy. I deliberately dumbed down my writing, used shorter sentences, avoided complex vocabulary, even threw in a few minor spelling errors. It felt wrong, like I was handicapping myself. 2 days later, Mr. Reeves slapped the paper on my desk with a C and a note. "See me after class. You're just making it look bad on purpose," he insisted when we were alone. "This is another form of academic dishonesty." What? I was dumbfounded. "You accused me of writing too well, so I simplified my style, and now that's cheating too?" Word spread quickly. Suddenly, I wasn't the only one under scrutiny. Jessica, who'd won state writing competitions, got accused too. So did Mateo, whose parents were both English professors. Mr. Reeves had created a witch hunt where excellence became suspicious. Things came to a head during our midterm exam, a 3-hour handwritten in-class essay on Fahrenheit 451. I wrote passionately about the parallels between Bradbury's fictional society and our own digital age, drawing connections to historical censorship. When he returned the exams, mine had a big red F with "See me immediately" across the top. My heart sank. After class, I approached his desk, trying to keep my voice steady despite my anger. "Mr. Reeves, I wrote this by hand, in class, without any resources. How could I possibly have cheated?" He leaned forward, lowering his voice. "I know you somehow found a way. Perhaps you memorized an AI-generated essay beforehand. No sophomore discusses philosophical implications of censorship and draws parallels to Plato's cave allegory. These concepts are beyond your years." Something in me snapped. I pulled out my phone and opened my Goodreads account, showing him my reading list, 157 books completed that year. Then I showed him my writing journal app with timestamps of stories, vocabulary words, and literary analyses I'd been collecting since 7th grade. "I read Plato last summer," I said, scrolling to show him my notes, "and I've read everything Bradbury has written. I'm not cheating. I'm just a kid who loves books." Mr. Reeves stared at my phone, his certainty visibly wavering. "Well, nowadays you can't be too careful. AI is very sophisticated. So are some students," I replied. The next day, I brought my mom in, not to yell at him, but to have a conversation. She brought samples of my writing from elementary school through present, showing the natural progression of my skills. Mr. Reeves listened, occasionally nodding, but I could tell he wasn't fully convinced. Finally, my mom suggested something unexpected. "Why don't you give Ryan a writing prompt right now? He can write for 30 minutes while we wait. No devices, just pen and paper." To my surprise, he agreed. He gave me a prompt about isolation in modern literature, and I wrote while they waited in awkward silence. When time was up, he read my work carefully. After what felt like forever, he looked up. "This is quite good." It wasn't exactly an apology, but it was something. The principal later reviewed all my previous work and changed my grade to an A. Mr. Reeves no longer accused me outright, though I sometimes caught him watching me with lingering suspicion. By the end of the year, several students were actually using AI. They figured if they were going to be accused anyway, why not do it? Meanwhile, those of us who genuinely loved writing had to constantly prove ourselves. Mr. Reeves still teaches at our school, but now he's required to provide specific evidence before accusing anyone of AI usage. I've learned that sometimes the people most confident in their judgment are the ones most blinded by it.